Have you ever stopped to think about the impact a single speech can have on thousands of lives? Today we're going to dive into one of the most powerful moments in all of human history, the famous Sermon on the Mount. This sermon was delivered by Jesus Christ and is recorded in chapters 5, 6, and 7 of the Gospel of Matthew. In it, Jesus teaches profound truths that have transcended centuries and continue to transform lives to this very day. The Sermon on the Mount wasn't just a message. It was a true spiritual manifesto that redefines the meaning of happiness, faith, and our relationship with God. So prepare your heart, take a deep breath, and come with me on this spiritual journey. And before we continue, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any content, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this powerful message. And of course, comment below which part of the Sermon on the Mount speaks to your heart the most. The Sermon on the Mount begins with the Beatitudes, which are a series of declarations that reveal who are truly blessed in the eyes of God. Jesus says that blessed are the poor in spirit, those who mourn, the meek, those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, the merciful, the pure in heart, the peacemakers, and those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake. In a culture that valued power, status, and appearances, these words were a true shock. Jesus was declaring that the kingdom of God belongs to those who recognize their spiritual need, to those who suffer, and to those who promote peace. These words bring comfort, but also challenge us as they invite us to live contrary to the values of the world. When you hear these words, what do you feel? Share your thoughts in the comments because I really want to know. After the Beatitudes, Jesus calls us the salt of the earth and the light of the world. This means that our lives should have a real impact on society. Salt preserves and gives flavor, and light illuminates and shows the way. Jesus is saying that our presence in this world must make a difference, that we are to be agents of change, spreading goodness, justice, and compassion. And for that, we must live in a way that aligns with the principles of the kingdom. This is a call to responsibility, but also a reminder of our worth to God. He chose us to shine in the midst of darkness and to preserve truth in a corrupt world. Have you been salt and light where you are? This reflection can transform the way you live your faith. Then Jesus begins to teach about true righteousness. He says he didn't come to abolish the law, but to fulfill it. And he takes the commandments to a deeper level. He teaches that it's not enough to avoid murder, but that we must also avoid unjust anger. It's not enough to avoid adultery. We must also purify our thoughts. Jesus goes beyond appearances and speaks directly to the heart. He shows that sin begins within us, and that the transformation God desires is internal. This teaching confronts us because it reveals that often we are more concerned with the outside while neglecting our inner life. The righteousness of the kingdom of God is not based on cold rules, but on a living and sincere relationship with the Creator. In chapter 6, Jesus speaks about spiritual practices such as giving, praying, and fasting. He warns against religious showmanship and teaches that everything should be done in secret, before God and not for human applause. It is in this moment that he teaches the most well-known prayer in the world, the Lord's Prayer. This prayer is a powerful model that shows us how to approach God with reverence, trust, and dependence. It reveals that God cares about every aspect of our lives, from our daily bread to forgiveness and deliverance from evil. Jesus also reminds us that where our treasure is, there our heart will be also. That's why he invites us to seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, trusting that all other things will be added to us. In the final chapter of the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus gives us several practical teachings. He warns us not to judge others, as we will be judged by the same standard. He invites us to ask, seek, and knock with faith, believing that God answers prayers. He teaches the famous golden rule that we should do to others what we would have them do to us. And finally, he speaks about two paths, the narrow and the wide gate, false prophets, and the importance of building our lives on the rock. This is the grand finale of the sermon, a call to decision. Jesus makes it clear that it's not enough to hear his words. We must put them into practice. Only then will we build a life that stands firm in the storms of life. The Sermon on the Mount is more than just a collection of teachings. It is a radical invitation to live a life of integrity, humility, compassion, and faith. It is a spiritual compass for anyone who truly desires to follow Jesus. Every verse of this sermon carries an eternal truth that can transform our hearts and the way we live. That's why we must always return to these words. Let them confront us, comfort us, and lead us closer to God. If this message spoke to your heart, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any videos like this. Give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And leave a comment below telling us which part of the Sermon on the Mount touched your heart the most. See you in the next video, and may God bless your life abundantly.